Barcelona kick off their new season with a 3-0 win over Mallorca with goals from Raphinha, Ferran Torres, and of course, the star boy Lamine Yamal. What a lovely Saturday afternoon, Starting off the league with a win, can't go wrong. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about the first half, the second half, the controversy, of course, VAR and La Liga. There's always going to be controversy every single game week. Now, looking at the lineup that Flick put out there this morning, I kind of figured that was going to be the lineup. That was my prediction, actually. I thought that because of how Ferran was playing preseason, he'd get the start over Dani Olmo. Koundé's not fully fit, so Eric Garcia started, but then everyone else was kind of expected. Honestly, Barca started off the game exactly how I expected them to. We knew that, our first 3 games of the season were going to be away from home. We're not going to be able to play in the Olympic Stadium till, I think, the 4th match day. Now, my expectation for this game was that we win away from home comfortably, convincingly, so that we set a standard for the next 2 or 3 upcoming games that are going to be away from home as well. And that's exactly what happened in that first half. I thought we kind of set the tempo exactly how we wanted to. We played our own game. We obviously saw the setup, the high line, everything was kind of being exploited as expected. And before you know it, 7 minutes in, Lamine, trademark cross, cuts in on his left and just dinks it over the top, back post to Raphinha, who's just lurking there. And for that type of goal to kind of be present in this season again just goes to show how this team just hasn't lost any quality. Hasn't lost any quality in their technical ability, their flair, their skill set, their IQ. And it's good. It makes me feel good because I'm going into the season now thinking that if we can play at how we played last season, there's so much more room for improvement. That's exactly what I'm going to expect from this team. Because Mallorca, to be fair, at least in the last couple of seasons, I know they haven't had a great record against us, but they've proven to be a difficult side to beat. Whether they sit back and kind of make it really difficult for us to break them down, or like kind of nick a goal off the counter every now and then. They are like a frustrating team to play against sometimes. Obviously not as much as like Getafe and them, but like they're a tricky team to play against sometimes. So knowing this and kind of playing our cards correctly in that first half was really important. And Lamine and Raphinha, man, these guys just like, I think to look at their chemistry and how it was last season, I think this season could be a new level. I think between the two of them, they really seem to understand each other. In the channels, in the final third, they kind of know where they are at all times, and that's really important. And something I noticed in that first half too was that our pressing was way better. It was way, way better than we saw in the preseason games. Obviously, preseason, I'm not going to take too much out of it because it's more fitness than it is actual tactics. But our pressing in that first half was really exploited very well. We didn't really give Mallorca a chance to breathe. They had a couple chances off the break here and there, but nothing too scary. I thought we moved the ball pretty well considering that Mallorca did sit back for the majority of that first half. And then the whole second goal controversy came in where I think it was Yamal who shot the ball on the defender's head. He goes to the floor holding his head like this, and all the Mallorca players were pointing towards him. They were like, is the ref going to blow the whistle? To be fair, you see the ref putting the whistle in his mouth. Even I thought he was going to blow, but he didn't. He kind of let the play go on. Barca players were like, okay, you haven't blown the whistle, let us play, let us continue. And then Ferran Torres scores. In that moment, I was confused myself. I'm like, did the goal count? Did it not count? Is there a head injury? Is it a foul? Then 20 seconds later, the goal stands. In my head, I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. You didn't blow the whistle. And the Mallorca players, the managers, the fans, everyone on Mallorca's side technically was so annoyed that goal happened, that goal actually counted. By the laws of the game, if the ref doesn't blow the whistle, the play must continue. Now, there's a completely different story if the ref should have blown the whistle or he shouldn't. But by the laws of the game, the ref didn't blow the whistle, so Barca players have every single right to continue playing with the ball and scoring. And that's exactly what they did. They're not going to, pick up the ball and just give it back to Mallorca out of respect. I mean, it's the game. They're trying to win the game too. I completely understand Barca's point and why they continue to play because it's the laws of the game. For all the outrage of oh, Barca fans, referees, Barcelona, etc. That has nothing to do with this, to be honest. They literally just played by the rules of the game. Mallorca should have also played by the rules of the game. The ref didn't blow the whistle. I don't know why their 2 defensive midfielders are just standing still as if the ball's going to be given back to them out of respect or whatever. They should have just continued playing the game. And they didn't. And Barca score. And yes, okay, now if we're going to talk about the referee, he should have blown the whistle if the guy's holding his head on the ground. That's maybe on him, to be honest. But you can't blame Barca for scoring the goal. I mean, any team would do that. If they had the chance to score a goal, they would. This should be more looked at the referees, La Liga, maybe their decision making. And we saw a lot of it last year. And to be honest, it's just the same story every week, isn't it? It's like nothing's changed too much, and it's unfortunate. I kind of feel for Mallorca in that way, but you can't rely on the referees to like kind of be on your side in certain situations like that. They'll be hard on you, especially in that Liga. So they should have continued playing on and kind of like probably stopped the goal if they could. Even the keeper stood still. So, but then soon after we saw that Mallorca's troubles got even worse, where their striker literally kicked our keeper in the face. It was like they're both going for like a 50-50. The keeper came out, headed the ball, and their striker literally kicked Garcia in the face. And it was a high boot. I think at first he got booked with a yellow, and then it went to VAR, and he got rightfully sent off. And this is also after the fact that one of Mallorca's defenders, or I think it was their midfielders, took out Yamal when he was about to cut in on his left foot. I think it was a second yellow, which is, to be honest, that was a bit harsh in my opinion. He also got sent off too. So by the end of the half, Mallorca were down to 9 men. And it happened so fast. And it's crazy how in just 45 minutes of football, everything can just go downhill for you so fast. I mean, look, I'm not complaining. I mean, my team's 2-0 up at halftime. If anything, it was kind of good for us as well because it allowed Flick to kind of... We knew how Mallorca weren't going to like be too much of a threat in that second half. They literally sat back for most of that second half anyways. So in my head, I'm like, okay, Flick, this is your opportunity to like kind of experiment and kind of like maybe bring on some subs. Kind of just change the team around, see what you can do to... I guess avoid any sort of like crazy injury or something. And I think at the end of the first half, Raphinha got booked. So I expected him to go off for the second half, but he didn't. He actually subbed off Fermin Lopez, who, to be honest, didn't have a great first half. I thought he lost the ball a couple times. He didn't, I think he struggled with the low defensive block that Mallorca were putting up. He couldn't really find the tight spaces well enough. Fermin Lopez went off for Olmo. Olmo came on. And we saw Raphinha kind of playing like a new role in that second half. And this is what I meant by experimenting. In that first half, he was more so on the left touchline side. But in the second half, he was more central. He kind of drifted in around the edge of the box. Kind of created his chances in his own way. And to be honest, I thought he played quite well in that second half. He kind of... put the ball on the plate for a couple players, but they couldn't, convert it. He had a couple really close chances. He could have had 2 in that second half. The second half was kind of cruise control for Barca. Majority of the half was just played around Mallorca's box. I have to give it to them. They played really well defensively. They couldn't really give us like any sort of chance to score another, bar the third, obviously. I mean, it was just back to business for Barca. I mean, with any team with 9 men, they're going to struggle for sure, especially with a game against Barca. But I think that second half was just very casual in the sense where Barca didn't really put too much effort. I think they kind of figured they sealed the 3 points by the end of it. But one man who really wanted to score, who really wanted to get the headlines, really wanted to make a name for himself, was of course our star boy, Lamine. And what a goal it was. Cuts in on his left and just absolutely whacks it far post. Similar to the goal he scored at the last game of the season, or the second last game of the season against Espanyol. Classic, cuts in on his left and just guides it top bins on the far side. And you could tell how he's playing all game too. This guy just wanted it. He just wanted to get his name on the score sheet, and that's exactly what he did. Walks away with a goal and assist, man of the match award on the first La Liga game of the new season. And boy, I'm so excited for what this guy is going to do for us this season. And I really hope, touch wood, that this guy stays fit, because he is the most X-factor thing you can think of when it comes to performing at the highest level. What a player, what a talent, genuinely. And hopefully, I'm not even hopeful, I'm so sure that we're going to see so much of that this season for sure. We saw glimpses of Marcus Rashford coming on in that second half. I don't think he played particularly too well. He didn't really get on the ball too much. I think he kind of figured that, La Liga, away from home, low blocks, they're not easy to play against. And he kind of didn't really find his space in the box. I think Flick subbed him on for Ferran, so he was playing up top. But I think that's something that Marcus Rashford needs to kind of adapt to, and I'm sure he will eventually. It'll be really interesting to see how Flick kind of deals with the substitutions in and around the attack, whether he wants to play him as a striker or off the left or, wherever. I think it'll be really interesting. But like I said, back to business for Barca. Very comfortable win. Of course, the fact that Mallorca were down to 9 men made it very easy for us. But I'm excited. First game of the season, 3 points on the board, top of the table, and more of this to come for sure. So if you guys have enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe. Road to 100 subscribers, like I said in the last one. And I'll be back. Barca week in, week out. Big games in the Premier League. I'll be back. And make sure you comment. I want to know what you guys think. Any predictions for the upcoming games? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.